reason I started this business was to help my quarterbacks get scholarships to play college football. I remember how important that was to me when I was in high school and how I would have done just about anything for college football programs to recognize my talent. I made a promise to myself that a big part of this job for me was going to be me being proactive for my players and searching for their possible future homes and mentoring them through the process of it all. I hate when I hear people say things like, "Nothing is happening for me," as they sit around and do nothing about it. Or, "Well, that would be me if it wasn't for this person or that coach." That's garbage. We are not about sitting back and waiting for something to happen. We're about putting business into motion and making something happen for ourselves. Nowadays, there are hundreds of kids who throw for 2,500 yards and 20 TDs. Shoot, there are hundreds of kids throwing for 3,000 yards and rushing for another 1,000. If you're one of those guys, what are you going to do extra to separate yourself from that group or to catch the eye of that program that you really want to be a part of and leading someday? "Well, coach, what if my team is really bad or my offense isn't really that explosive as some of these other guys?" Well, I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to have a more difficult road ahead of you. But I promise you, if you stay humble and you go above and beyond to get your name and face out there in the college football community, if you're good enough, a college football program is going to find you. I'll make sure of it. When I first meet with a new quarterback, I have a serious talk with them about goals and what they want to get out of working with someone like me. Obviously, they want to do big things or they wouldn't seek out a specialty coach to train with. My favorite QBs thus far have been the guys who have specific goals about where they want to go and what they want to do. But at the end of the day, they just want to play college football. It's not a University of Texas or nothing attitude. It's a, I'm going to bust my butt to try and get the attention of a place like Texas. But I know that if UT doesn't work out, I'm going to be ecstatic about the right program I end up at attitude. If that's not your attitude, you're showing that you probably have selfish tendencies, you're probably not going to be a good teammate, and the college football experience is probably not going to work out for you. This job has given me the opportunity to travel around the country and meet coaches from programs of every division. If they are an athletic scholarship program, then I have a vested interest in them for my QBs. So far, it has been an amazing journey, and I've been able to forge some pretty awesome relationships. Last weekend, I took a trip to California to meet with some universities in the state about some of my top QB prospects. One of my stops was in LA, visiting the University of Southern California and the world-famous Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, home of the Fighting Men of Troy. There are a few select programs that have a certain mystique about them that makes them seem like they are bigger than college football, and USC is one of those schools. They teeter between the worlds of college and professional football. USC has 7 Heisman Trophy winners. And yes, I still count one of the greatest college football players of all time, Reggie Bush, and his Heisman. 15 former Trojan players and coaches in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They rank first with 79 first-round NFL picks over any other college football program and are tied with Notre Dame for the most #1 overall picks with 5. As of 2015, 493 Trojans have been taken in the NFL draft, more than any other university. They have had 163 All-Americans. 39 players and coaches and ADs have been inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. Here's my favorite fact, though. In the last 25 years, USC has had 11 quarterbacks drafted into the NFL. And current Trojan QB Cody Kessler will make 12 this year, which ranks them #1 over any other program. Whew. Needless to say, I was a little excited about this visit. So you know how some people love comics and are called fanboys, or they love electronics, they're called tech geeks? Well, I love stadiums. I'm a stadium nut. It doesn't matter if it's a small middle school field or a professional football stadium. I love to study and admire all aspects of sporting fields, more specifically football fields though. As I pulled up to LA Coliseum to park and go inside, I had a mixture of emotions. SC is located in a rougher part of LA, so it's kind of weird walking up to this huge sports monument nestled among graffitied homes and bars on the windows. I pulled up to the back side of the stadium, parked in an older looking parking lot, and started to walk around to the front. The first thing I noticed right off the bat is that the stadium looks old, which it is. It opened in 1923. The concrete and brick of the stadium walls probably could use a good power washing. There are 2 cardinal and gold stripes that wrap around a majority of the top portion of the stadium that were also in desperate need of a paint touch-up. There were beautiful cardinal and gold flags flying around the top of the entire stadium. The restroom and concession stands outside of the stadium were very old, but I was starting to appreciate how much they had kept from the original 1923 building. You can get glimpses of the inside of the stadium and the shining red seating through small, narrow tunnels that surround it. I finally arrived to the front of the stadium, and all I could do was stand there in awe and try to take it all in. It was like stimulus overload, where my mind and eyes were racing around trying to play catch-up with each other. At the front of the stadium are two headless, naked sculptures of a man and a woman resting upon gold cone platforms. And when I say naked, I mean the full Monty. On the front of the stadium in block print are the words Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, with the Olympic rings resting below. Above all this is a pedestal with a torch that reaches up to the skies. And on a side note, I was told that it costs $250 every time they light it up. As I make my way in, I notice large plaques that adorn the stadium walls, with every major sports figure, political figure, religious leaders, musicians, etc. that have ever spoken, performed, or impacted the Coliseum in some way. This stadium has major history. It has seen Super Bowls, Olympic Games, World Series, World Cup matches, the list goes on. A thought goes through my head at this point. 18 to 23-year-old kids actually get to play football here? That's insane. I enter through Tunnel 27 near the south end zone. It's probably only 7 foot tall. It's long, about 50 yards, bricked, dark, and a little cold, but there is this amazing bright light at the end of it. As I get closer to the light, my eyes start to adjust, and I can see the bright, shining Cardinal seating keep rising and rising into the sky. Finally, I walk out of the tunnel, and once again, sensory overload. You can feel the history immediately, and it's somewhat overwhelming. Directly in front of me are all the national championships listed upon the suites and main broadcasting booth. To my left, 6 large USC jerseys of former Heisman Trophy winners are strapped down to old seating. Audi luxury suites and boxes populate the entire back end of the front of the stadium and non-playing field. To my right, a sea of Cardinals seating wrapped around in a horseshoe as far as the eye could see. Some seating was plastic, some aluminum, some leather, and some were actually the original wood. I made my way down to the field to step onto the playing surface, and I immediately noticed how immaculate it is. The grass was so clean and well manicured that I would have felt comfortable eating off it. Or that might just be me. From the field, I do an entire 360 of the stadium and think to myself again, wow, young men actually get to play here? How could a recruit pass on a place and experience like this? I told you I was a stadium nut. If you have a chance and you're in LA, this needs to be on your must-see list. Okay, on to episode 4 of Spinning It. I had the pleasure of sitting down with my first QB of the podcast, UTSA freshman quarterback Manny Harris of Copperas Cove, Texas. I started training Manny almost a year ago, but I had heard of him before and seen him at events like Elite11 prior to our meeting. The first thing I noticed about Manny, besides his howitzer for an arm, was his cool demeanor. He never gets too high, never gets too low. He's pretty balanced, which makes for a successful QB. On the podcast, we're going to discuss growing up in Copperas Cove, getting to learn from Copperas Cove product RG3, how football wasn't always his first love, what it's like to be recruited by D1 schools and compete in events like Elite11 and the Rivals QB Challenge, and finally, what it's like to be a UTSA Roadrunner. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy my conversation with the Copperas Cove Cannon, Manny Harris.
Step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe. Hey, hey!
Okay, guys, what's up? I got my boy Manny Harris, the Copperas Cove Cannon, in the studio. What's happening, dude?
Nothing. I'm just happy to be here.
Chilling like a villain. My man, Manny, Copperas Cove Cannon. Has anyone ever called you that?
No, nobody's ever
Boom.
called.
Trademark that thing. Let's sell some shirts and make some money. But I got a better nickname for you. Crazy Hair Don't Care Harris.
My hair is not even crazy, but everyone says it is.
When I saw you, I guess 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I was like, you going to grow your hair out or what's the deal? You're like, I'm just going to let it flow.
I'm letting it.
Yeah.
Gotta see what it does.
I mean, what's up with that? How are you going to let it flow? Okay, describe your hair to people who can't see this.
My hair is curly, and I just dyed it blonde, so it has a little bit of blonde in it.
He looks like a guy from the islands. Like that's what you like. I feel like I'd go to the islands and I'd see you, and you got the light colored, long curly hair and wavy hair and stuff like that. That's what you look like to me.
Oh, really?
You got the shell, kind of the shell necklace going and stuff. Yeah, dude, you look like you're from Hawaii or something.
Look like a surfer boy.
Yeah, sort of.
There we go.
You got that look. Cool. So Manny, I met Manny, I guess about almost a year ago. I guess right? About a year ago.
Yeah.
We've followed each other on social media, and I'd heard about you before through like LG and through Elite11, and obviously you had a really good career and stuff. And but we, I guess, reached out to each other about you coming in for some training, and you'd already signed with UTSA, and that's where the kind of relationship began, huh?
Yeah, that's where it began.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, Manny is a freshman at UTSA, quarterback. Like I said, the Copperas Cove Cannon. Tell me a little bit about what it's like. Did you grow up in Copperas Cove?
Yeah, I lived there my whole life.
What it's like? What is it like? Talk to me.
Well, Copperas Cove's right by Fort Hood, Texas, so the biggest military base in the world. And
Are your parents military?
yeah, they were.
Okay.
I don't know how long, but they got out after my sister and I were born. And yeah, I've just seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of friends came and go.
Military, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's, yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, that's the tough part. If you're definitely looking to stay with your friends the whole time, that's not the place to live.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I like living by like the military and just being raised around that. So that was pretty cool. And
You hear that plane?
yeah,
Awesome. With the military theme there, what branch of the military are your parents in?
they're in the Army.
Army, nice,
Mhm.
cool. So you born and raised Copperas Cove,
Mhm.
the only place you ever lived besides San Antonio now. What was the first sport you started playing?
I played basketball. Basketball was my thing when I was younger, and
Yeah?
I thought that was gonna be my way out, but
Okay.
turned out football was.
Hoop Dreams.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen that?
No, never seen.
You don't even know what Hoop Dreams is. Like, it's crazy that I don't feel like I'm that. Like, I just turned 33 years old, and I don't feel like I'm that old. Like, I'm feeling good, guys. I'm feeling good. But I feel really, really bad whenever I sit and talk to like my guys, even a college guy like Manny, and he tells me stuff like,
My parents do the same thing or something like that.
yeah, like, yo, yeah, my mom and dad like that show, or yeah, I think my grandma used to listen to that song or something like that. I'm like, what? It makes me feel out of touch, but oh well, that's how it goes. Okay,
It is how it goes.
Hoop Dreams. That's an air. We're gonna pull that up real quick. Hoop Dreams.
I was going to quit football actually after my freshman season.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to concentrate on being a hooper?
Yeah, and I didn't think football was going to be a thing for my school because our offense at my school was just a ground attack. All we did was run the ball. So I was doing really good at basketball too my freshman year, so I thought that was going to be my way out.
I hope the UTSA guys that eventually hear this make fun of Manny for not knowing what Hoop Dreams is. Hoop Dreams, a film following the lives of two inner-city Chicago boys who struggle to become college basketball players on the road to going professional. It's like a documentary. That you've never seen this?
Never. I've seen it on Netflix. I think, yeah, it's on Netflix.
Jump on board that, my man.
That's another thing to add on my list.
It is. I told him to watch Lost, too. I said Lost was one of my favorite shows growing up. What am I talking about when I was in college and after college? Okay, so basketball was your first sport. How old were you when you first started playing?
Probably since like first grade. I mean, I always was.
That's early.
Yeah, but probably first grade. I used to always go like every Sunday because my dad and like all his friends from church, they all got together with the group and we had a gym at our church, so they always played every Sunday, and I would just stand there and watch.
Manny's playing with the mic. Like the last three guys I've had in here for podcasts, they'll kind of back off from the mic a little bit. I'm saying pull that thing in, and it just makes a huge difference. We're getting it. We're getting it. Okay, so you went with your dad, and he got the dudes he was hooping with, and that's kind of where you started.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all have like YMCA, Boys and Girls Club basketball? How did that work?
Copperas Cove's not really that big, so.
Okay. Well, how big is Copperas Cove? I don't know.
I don't know.
He doesn't even know. Copperas Cove. Copperas Cove. Let's go. Copperas Cove population.
Might be somewhere around like 50,000, I think. But the only thing we really have is a movie theater. It's the biggest thing.
33,122. That's not that big, but it's bigger than my hometown of Kingsville, Texas, which was like 21,000 or something. Kingsville.
Who's from Kingsville?
Me.
Who else?
I am. Well, that's where Texas A&I or Texas A&M Kingsville is.
Yeah.
Division II school, Lone Star Conference, and Daryl Green. I bet you don't even know who Daryl Green is.
Don't know.
Hall of Fame DB Daryl Green. Good night. John Randall. You remember John Randall? No, you don't know who that is. Wow.
You could tell by the look.
This is tough. I'm trying to think if there hasn't been any like big time. Okay, you might know this guy. So Roberto Garza, who was the Bears center for Jay Cutler, and he's been like in the
No.
He's
So tell me about Kingsville a little bit.
He's in okay. You're gonna flip it on me.
Yep.
Kingsville. So I grew up in a neighborhood that had like hay bales, not too far across from my house.
Oh, really?
So that should tell you a little bit. There were horses and cows and all that kind of stuff. It was your typical kind of southern kind of South Texas country place, mesquite trees and cactus, all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed it. You know, they had the Navy base there. But it was definitely a small city. If we wanted to go out and see stuff, we went to Corpus Christi, Texas, which is a little bit bigger. We went to saw a lot of guys like you on the beach, a lot of beach guys. But I enjoyed it, man. It was a good place to grow up. I like San Antonio now, but I enjoyed my time in Kingsville. It was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have put it on you, dude.
Yeah.
We would have put it on them dogs from Copperas Cove. Okay, so you start playing. So then, so you weren't in any type of basketball leagues or anything?
Yeah, I played like traveling basketball all growing up, and
first team and your first number.
My first team.
What was the name of them, and what was your first number you wore?
My first team was called the Flames of Fire. It was
Flames of Fire. That's legit. Okay.
It was a guy from my church. And his nephew was one of the players, and it was like a lot of people from our church on the team too. And yeah, my number, I think it was 7. 7 was always my number growing
That's a
up.
good number, dude. I wanted 7 in college. I lost it in a coin flip to our guy who ended up being the Southland Conference Special Teams Player of the Year. But
Oh man,
yeah, I could have been 7. Could have been. But okay, so 7. You're hooping. What position?
I was shooting guard.
Shooting guard. What were you averaging? What kind of points per game?
At City League, I don't know, but in high school, my freshman year,
We're not in high school yet. What about junior high? Let's go to junior high.
about 20 a game, something around that.
In junior high?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, is that on A team or B team?
18.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Never been on B team.
Did it ever touch B team, huh?
No.
I found out that probably I played on A team in 7th grade in basketball, and after that, I made the decision where I was just terrible, dude.
Wasn't your thing?
No, and I thought it was. That's the crazy thing. I was 18 quarterback, so I was like, oh, I'll go ball 18 point guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that is not right. I was not good. I don't know how I made it on A team. I didn't play a lot. I did not like the feeling of not playing a lot, and I could tell the sport came really natural to a lot of other guys and not to me. So I took 8th grade off, came back in 9th grade because I got a little taller, a little bigger, pounded the boards a little bit, but I knew that I was not going to play basketball because my coach. I said, Coach, what are you trying to get out of me? Like, what kind of player do you think I am? He goes, I know that when you're in there, you're going to give me 100% hustle all the time. I was like, what?
That's how you know?
Did you just drop the hustle bomb on me? Like I'm a hustler? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check my Chuck Taylors in. I'm done. Mm-hmm. It's football and baseball from now on. But okay, so you're hooping it up, averaging 20 a game. What was the name of your junior high?
Copperas Cove Junior High. We were called the Bullpups.
The Bullpups.
The Bullpups.
Okay.
I hated it.
What were your colors?
We were blue and gold.
Same thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was it close to the high school?
It's probably about 5 minutes from the high school.
Okay, so pretty close. I didn't know if it was on like the same lot or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. What does a Bullpup mascot look like?
It pretty much looks like a bulldog mascot, just a little bit more childish of a look, I guess.
Okay. Why'd you hate it?
Who wants to be called the Bullpups?
I don't know, man.
The other junior high in Cove was called the Cougars, and we were called the Bullpups, so that was kind of embarrassing. They always made fun of us for that.
Did those two junior highs feed into the Cove? Okay, so that's awesome. There had to be some good rivalry.
And that was a rival.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
What were you playing? You were playing football at that point too, or not?
Yeah, I was playing football.
When did you start playing football?
I started playing in 2nd grade. So.
Second? Jeez.
Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't have like any leagues or anything like that in Copperas Cove.
No, we had leagues.
Okay.
Yeah, I started playing flag football though in 2nd grade, and then
what position?
I was quarterback.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
So you knew from an early age, I want to spin it.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so I asked that to all my guys that come in, especially young guys. Why do you want to play quarterback? A lot of guys say the answer that I like to hear is, I want the ball in my hands, man. I want to be the leader. I want the ball in my hands. I like that. What I know the reason I wanted to play quarterback in an early age is because I wanted to touch the ball every play. I wanted to be the man who won the game or lost the game. Why was it? What was the pull for you?
I always liked throwing the ball, and it was just a natural thing. Like I really don't remember the one thing that just like set it apart. I just always played quarterback growing up, so I just continued.
For anyone who hasn't seen Manny Harris throw football, go watch his highlight film in high school, or go to a UTSA game when he starts calling the shots over there and watch this dude. He can sling the rock. So you were slinging it from an early age. Were you spinning it well? I was not spinning it well. That's why I thought I was. But
I would like to think I was spinning it good, but
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Did you still have the crazy hair at that point?
No, short.
Keeping it tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tight,
Kind of military cut.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're keeping it. You're playing your flag football. When did you play your first tackle football?
In third grade, you
started early.
Yeah, there was always a team that played right across practiced right across the street, and I would just go outside, throw the ball up, and I was hoping they would call me over one day and then come practice with it.
Did that ever happen?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so and I like where your head was at there, but I'm big about don't wait on something to happen, go make it happen.
Well, I mean, you have to sign up for the league, and I was in second grade, and you're supposed to start in third grade. So.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't get to start that year. I just had to sign up and play flag football that year.
Okay.
But yeah.
How'd you do first year flag football?
I think we got second place. I think I can remember that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna have to talk to your dad to see if this is.
He was overseas at that time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Where was he?
He was in Kuwait at that time.
Kuwait. Okay. Wow. All right. So you playing through your like your Pee Wee football, I guess, or we call it Taifa here, or Pop Warner football. What league was it? Do you remember?
Just the Copperas Cove City League.
Copperas Cove City League. Okay. So you knew you wanted to play quarterback. You're playing quarterback. What was maybe the first little bit of adversity when you were young? Like what was hard for you? Or was everything pretty easy?
The thing when I was young, like I wasn't as big as everybody. I was kind of smaller than everybody, like growing up at first. And my first thing of adversity was I played quarterback, and there was a coach's son that played quarterback too. So,
did you beat the coach's son out?
I started like most of the games throughout the year, and then like towards the end, he started starting some, and we just like kind of alternated back and forth in some of those. But
here's what I've learned about coaches' sons and that are playing, especially youth leagues. Mm-hmm. Even if it's Joe, you know who Joe Montana is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. His book is right over there. Even if it's Joe Montana, the coach's son's playing over Joe Montana. Mm-hmm. That's how it always works. So the fact that you even got more playing time, you must have been a boss. You must have been handling business. Mm-hmm. But that is a tough thing to happen. I've got kids right now that are not getting as much playing time as possible, or as they want, or as they deserve, because they're playing behind a coach's son or something like that. And my whole thing is, well, if you knew you were getting into that beforehand, then that's kind of on you, and you got to find a team that's not in that position.
Definitely. Because
it's just coach's sons always went out.
Yeah, they do. And also in junior high, like one of my best friends, he started over me at the beginning of the season at quarterback. So that's kind of what made me like, I kind of think I like basketball a little bit more.
Really? You know? What did he go on and play football, or what was the deal?
Yeah, he was my receiver actually throughout high school, and we had good connections.
Okay.
Throughout high school, so.
It's weird, but no, it's not weird. It is what it is. When I was from an early age, anytime I was on a team with another quarterback, whether it was junior high or 7-on-7 or high school or anything like that, like I never had great relationships with any of the quarterbacks because only one dude gets to play it. There's always going to be some little animosity or some like watching over your back and like, hey, QBs, everyone that I've played with, I love you guys, but I wanted to play, you know? And so there's that little bit of, if you get too close, I'm going to bite you.
It's a business.
It is. And that's how and it's weird. Like I'll still see dudes till this day, like a junior high guy, you know, or I was talking to my buddy from high school who went on to be like all an all-state tight end for me in high school. He was a beast. He was amazing. But I'll never forget when I was a freshman, our backup quarterback went down. We needed another backup quarterback. So my coach literally said, who wants to try out for backup quarterback? And this is like third game of the season or something. And he raised his hand, and I look over at him like, how dare you, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, you're going for my position. You're like my boy. How dare you go after my position? And I brought that story up with him yesterday, and he was just like, just cracking up about it. He's like, I still can't believe like you get so frustrated. I was like, I do, man. Dude, don't come in my kitchen, man.
I feel like every quarterback should be like that, or if not, it's not the position for you, honestly.
I totally agree. It's you don't want to be because there is on every staff. There's the quarterback who's best friends with all the other quarterbacks or something like that. That kid's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's more interested in being buddies with everybody. Like I had great relationships with my offensive lines at all ages, my running backs, wide receivers. Not quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
And
Kind of like that too.
Yeah, is what it is. I don't. One of my college coaches at one point said in one of our QB meetings said, "You guys should not be buddies. Like I don't want you guys hanging out. I don't want you guys like going to the movies together or just doing whatever. Like this is a competition. This everyone needs to be on edge in this room." And he was right, dude. I totally agree with him. Okay, so that's a little bit of adversity. Your boy beat you out in 7th grade. Did you? What happened?
Well, he beat me out at first, and then he beat me out at first, and then towards the end of the season, I starting the rest of the game. So,
okay, cool. All right, so you go on to 8th grade.
Yeah,
and,
I was a starter that whole year.
Whole year. What was your number?
I was number 3. I was number 3.
Look up on that wall,
Yeah,
dog.
Look
up on that wall. Number 3.
Okay.
Cool. Blue and gold. Number 3, 7th and 8th grade.
I can't remember 7th grade's number, honestly.
What? What?
Junior high football, we weren't good. Our thing was basketball.
Okay.
One of my friends went to Oklahoma to play basketball, and
that's cool.
all my other friends did too. So
very cool. So Copperas Cove is more of a basketball town?
Not really.
Huh.
It was kind of my class that kind of started it off to be a basketball town because our class was pretty good at basketball, so it really helped it out.
Very cool. Well, how were you guys doing in basketball in 7th and 8th grade?
I'll never forget, we got 2nd in the district. It was...
Who's in your district? I don't know the Copperas Cove district.
Well, like our junior high districts, there was like all the Temple schools. There was 2 Belton schools, and it was like Midway, like Waco Midway.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the farthest, like for a high school game, that you guys would go out and travel for a district game?
To Waco, which was an hour away from Copperas Cove.
Okay, cool. That's about what we did too. All right, cool. Junior high basketball.
So, anyways, there's Temple Lamar. That was our biggest rivals in football, basketball. Other outside of SC Lee, which was the other school in junior high in Copperas Cove, but we just liked Temple Lamar. He's a quarterback at Tulsa now. He's in the same class as me. And
what's his name?
Chad President. Okay. Yeah, so that was our rivals. He didn't like us, we didn't like him, and
yeah, he's your age.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, shout out Chad President. We're coming for you, dog.
We're coming for you.
There you go. Is UTSA or is Tulsa? You said.
Yeah, he was committed to Baylor, and then he ended up going to Tulsa.
I wonder if they're on your schedules are already set, like for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
That would be nice.
It would be.
That would be nice. Okay.
So I remember they beat us like every game in junior high, and then there was one we were just tired. Well, they beat us like 3 times already. They beat us both times 7th grade, and then they beat us the first time 8th grade, and then we had them in a tournament in Cove at our junior high, and we beat them by like 20 points or something like that. So that was a big deal.
Sure.
And then we played in the championship game for the 7th grade district championship, and they got us in that one.
Yeah. Okay. Things got it's crazy. Like I've talked to other guys before, especially in 7th grade. Like 7th grade, that's the first time that you're really representing your town or your area, your neighborhood, wherever. And it's almost like this honor has been bestowed upon you too. You better represent us, And like I can feel, I remember just feeling like if we lost or didn't perform well, I felt like I let down not only the people of of the town, but like the people who would come before me too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't. It's crazy how that is, but it was also just kind of an honor to be able to really be playing with your boys too, that you've been growing up with, you know, this whole time, and just playing street ball and all that kind of stuff too. So everything was so serious for us too, man. We took it very, very seriously. Like prep like we were going to the Super Bowl, or even in basketball, prep like we were getting ready for the finals every game.
Yeah.
And now I go back and I watch I watch middle school football now, and realize just how not serious it is, and how just sloppy it is. And
they were fun days though.
They were fun.
I miss them.
They were a lot of fun. Dude, we only lost one game. We went 15-1 in my middle school career.
We were terrible.
Yeah, like I said, we'd have done y'all, dude. We had an awesome running back though. He was like a man child. Balde Escamilla, shout out. I used to just toss left, toss right. Pow. He already had like huge biceps at that point. And most of the other kids, we didn't even have like a hair on our chest or our leg or anything like that. So it's good to have guys like that on your team. Well, cool. So you're finishing up middle school and kind of thinking basketball's the way you're going to go.
Yeah, because it's a big deal to be like on JV basketball, like in Cove, and of course I wanted to be on that, but I realized like my chances weren't that likely since I played football also. But anyways, I was ready for high school football too, because high school football in Cove, I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, name a quarterback who
Robert Griffin III.
RG3. I mean, how far ahead was RG3 than in front of you?
I really don't remember, but I like grew up around him, and his dad used to take me to like all the games. Like when he was in junior high, I would go watch his games, and we would go to the high school games and all that. And
you watched him in junior high?
Mm-hmm.
Was he a big deal in junior high at that point?
He's faster than everybody. He's always been. His dad's he's a track coach in Cove.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was. Like he still runs the program, but like he has other people running for him. But Robert was fast, and
so he was a big deal at an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like growing up, like watching a guy like that?
I mean, it was pretty cool. That was like Vince Young was a big deal, so it was like seeing like a Vince Young back in that day. So
sure.
I mean, it was pretty cool, and I enjoyed growing up watching him. And I mean, you pretty much knew if you were going to the game, like you were in for a show. Of course, like they had a lot of Division I athletes, and I mean, I didn't notice that back then. Like I just thought all college was Division I. I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't know. So
yeah.
I mean, it was pretty cool watching that, and like growing up around Robert, and I just never knew that he would just turn out to be like that big of a deal, like a Heisman winner, second pick in the NFL draft. And that's pretty crazy.
Like the face of Adidas football. I mean, it's craziness. That must be really cool. Like I know how I was kind of wired when I was that age, and I would have been like, man, I got to live up to that. You know, he set this I got to go meet or beat that standard, even if I wasn't able to. I think I would have put that kind of pressure on myself to, I guess, not let people down because I wanted to do that or go above and beyond. Well, like when he was in high school, was he a huge deal? I mean, he went to Baylor. Obviously, he was a big deal. But
yeah, he's a big deal. I mean, everyone wore their number 10 jerseys. I was one of those people that
really,
wore their number 10 jerseys to the game.
Do you remember how old you were?
I don't remember. I was in elementary school.
Something I'm learning about Manny Harris is that he's probably suffered like 20 concussions because his recall is terrible of any type of information. This is his life too. I'm not even asking him like.
It's probably like 3rd and 4th grade.
Boom. There you go. There we go. All right, that's a much better 3rd, 4th grade guy rocking the 10.
Yeah. So I wanted to be number 10 growing up because I loved Vince Young, and I loved Robert, hometown quarterback, and.
Vince Young was the man, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched his high school highlight tape?
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Bro, it's who was I talking to about this the other day? That I said, my buddy Kurt that lives in California. I said, if you have time, put on that Vince Young high school highlight tape. It is just like a man among boys. He looks like a gazelle just running by everybody. It's so impressive. Fun guy to watch.
But like going to all the games, Copperas Cove, they're a pretty big deal. We have a lot of tradition in our program and all that, so like no one really misses a game. Like the whole city closes down for our games on Fridays, and pretty much a lot of the fans travel to all the games too. So I went to like all of his games, but the one I remember missing was the state championship his first year, and I missed that one. So that was.
Well, state champion his first year.
What, his junior year?
His junior year. Okay.
Because he went his junior, senior year. So
I got you.
yeah, I missed that one, his junior year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what? So obviously, oh no, I was at that game because no, I guess it was his senior year then because they lost against Lamar Consolidated.
Yeah, it was in Austin.
It was at Texas State, I think.
It was in Austin, I think, at Round Rock. Yeah, Round Rock Stadium or something like that.
I remember I was there because my buddy, Coach Amity, Joel Fino Amity, offensive coordinator in Medina Valley. We're going to have him on soon. He was coaching at Lamar Consolidated where Jaquiz Rogers was. You know Jaquiz Rogers?
Yeah,
James Rogers, yeah. And they ended up winning that game. I thought it was a state championship game against RG3, but I could tell.
Oh, it was a state championship.
Yeah. I said, obviously the Rogers brothers were just all everything. You could tell they were going to be awesome. But just seeing RG3, that was the first time I'd seen him. It was impressive, dude. He was a man among boys as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, enough of that RG3 stuff. I'm in the Manny Harris business. All right, so you get to high school. Your top sport, is that all you're playing, football and basketball?
Yeah, football and basketball. Well, they make us run track, but I hated track.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one kid. I'm not going to call him out. But he tells me he was in 7th grade last year, and he tells me, "Hey, coach, I don't want to run. I don't want to perform track." So well, you got to. I said it's going to help you with your speed. I don't care if you finish last place. It's going to help with your speed. You need to do that. And he said, "Well, if I do it, I'm just going to do the shot put." And I said,
"You got to run,
dude. Fat guys do the shot put.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Are you telling me you're a fat guy?" I was like, "You can't. You're in a speed offense. You have to run." And he did. He ended up running and doing really, really well. But it's okay. So what were you running in track? What were you doing in track?
I just did like the sprinters group. Of course, I came in last. I'm not that fast of a guy. So, the thing is, like, you're out there competing. You're out there getting better and running. So that's why track helps you out.
Sure, that competition too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on just competing year round. Compete. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Freshman year, you've got football, basketball, track going on. What's the first year like of high school for you? What's it like playing ball in high school? And was anything separating itself at that point? Like, was football getting stronger? Was basketball getting stronger? What was the? That's a lot of throwing at you right there. But
my freshman year of football, we didn't throw it. We threw the ball 5 times a game, if that.
Yeah.
But if it was a throw, it was either a touchdown or it was an incomplete pass.
Mm-hmm.
My freshman year, I didn't know coverages. I didn't know, just like, I didn't know anything like that. I just
most freshmen don't.
Yeah. So, it was a learning experience, obviously, and it was pretty cool playing with the other junior high from Copperas Cove. So
how was that? Like with everyone getting together?
At first, it was like, dang, man, we hate y'all. Like, y'all whooped our butts every game.
Sure.
Every time we played y'all in junior high. But then, like, you're like, some of these guys are really good. And it's like we meshed together. We became brothers. So that was the cool thing.
Yeah.
And basketball, like, it was pretty much all the Cove guys on the team. Like, versus the SE League guys. We really didn't need, the SE League guys.
Okay.
But we got second in district my freshman year in basketball. And I remember, like, I suited up with varsity one game, and I didn't play, but I suited up with them one game. So
freshman year?
Mm-hmm.
That's big boy stuff, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start on varsity for football in high school?
I didn't start until my junior year. I was on JV my sophomore year.
Weak sauce. Ask me when I started.
Your sophomore year?
Sophomore year, dog.
There you go.
The guy I had him before here, who was an offensive lineman at Nicholls State with me, Ben Gambasi, dude, he started as a freshman, and as a sophomore was all-state.
Are you serious?
In the largest classification in Louisiana high school football.
Oh, boy.
I was like, dude, that's big boy stuff.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
That's amazing.
That is big-time stuff. Okay, so were you on varsity as a basketball player in sophomore?
Yeah, I was on varsity my sophomore year.
You getting PT? What's the deal?
That's the year where I started noticing, okay, like, all these guys playing all year round, they're starting to get better than me, and I'm coming in after football season, I'm rusty, and, like, going into varsity, that was a fast pace, so just like getting thrown into the fire. I wasn't ready for it, and I didn't really have too good of a year. And then I wanted to go down to JV because I wanted to start playing more. And like I didn't get in my rhythm that year, and that's when I was like, do I really love this still? Like that's when I noticed basketball might not be my thing, and I ended up sitting out my junior year. And I really didn't miss it that year, but my senior year, like watching them play and like, dang, like we talked about this like our whole lives growing up, like playing our senior year and like winning a state championship in basketball. But
did y'all win a state championship?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We made it to the third round, so that was a big deal.
Yeah,
Our school, like, because we haven't won a playoff game in basketball in years. I don't even know how many.
It's funny you say that because I kind of went through something very similar. Baseball was my first sport because
really?
I mean football probably would have been, but we didn't have like flag football. We didn't have Pop Warner football, Taifa football. We didn't have anything like that. It was a small city. They have it now, but we didn't have anything like that. So I didn't start playing football until I was in 7th grade. But I've been playing baseball since I was like 5. So baseball, I played baseball year round, man. I just not even in leagues. I would just always had a mitt, always had a bat. Just played all the time with them when I had free time with my boys. I just wanted to play baseball. So obviously I was really good at baseball. But then as I got older and got into middle school and I really started falling in love with football, I started playing football or just throwing the football and doing quarterback-specific football movements year-round and just playing baseball during baseball season. And I could tell when I was a freshman in high school, like, man, I'd always been one of the best baseball players. And now I'm, like, very intermediate compared to like all these guys who are in baseball athletics and taking BP year round and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. And I didn't like the feeling, I'm not going to lie, but as an athlete, like you got to make choices on what you can't do everything all the time, you know, it's, and very few guys can do everything and have success at everything they do. There's just not enough time in the day. But I remember kind of going through that. And even when I was a sophomore, and I played varsity as a sophomore in high school and baseball too, but my baseball throwing motion, like I used to throw the football like a baseball when I was in middle school.
A lot of quarterbacks do that.
I see it now, and as soon as I see them, you're a baseball player. Please don't tell me you play baseball year round. And if they tell me they do, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be more of a process. But yeah, I threw the football like a baseball. And when I got into high school, when I started throwing the football year round, I started throwing the baseball like a football. And I was having all sorts of accuracy issues. Like I couldn't like hit wide open cutoff mans. And I'm like, what is going on with me? But now looking back, I know that's what it was. It was this, my muscle memory was really set for this football, you know, tight, compact motion. And it's not this long, drawn out, you know, kind of smooth release of a baseball player. So, you know, I still did well at baseball, but football was... By the time I was a sophomore, I wanted to play football in college, and I wasn't interested in doing anything else.
That's probably when it happened for me in football too. Like my sophomore year on JV, we went undefeated, and that's when I was like, dang, I'm kind of doing good. I'm starting to get better at football, so I noticed I'm liking football, and then like that spring after basketball season didn't really go so hot for me. That's when like I was on varsity for spring ball and getting all the reps, and our offense was changing. We were throwing the ball, and I was noticed I'm getting good. Like I'm actually doing good, and I'm liking this. So
how fun is it to be in this offense where you're just kind of maybe 5 attempts a game, handing off the ball, a lot of stuff like that, to, hey, dude, it's wide open, it's yours?
It was definitely like, are we really doing this? Because in the spring, my school used to like try to throw the ball a lot in the spring, and then
most schools do, yeah.
All we did was hand the ball off. So I mean, of course, I was thinking in the back of my head because we had a really good running back, and he was supposed to win district MVP my junior year, and of course he was coming back. So it was just like we're gonna run the ball all game, and we ended up throwing it all spring. We had pretty good receivers, and then my junior year football season came, and I was on varsity. I was like, dang, this varsity football, like this is what it feels like. And,
That's it, right?
Yeah. Texas 5A football. So I mean that was a big deal, and being the quarterback at Copperas Cove, I mean, you have a lot to live up to, and just playing football for Cove, I mean, you look up to them like NFL stars growing up, and every kid does that. So it was pretty cool being like the face of Cove, I guess, quote unquote. And just like going into my first game my junior year, I just remember like I was so anxious all day.
This is your team at this point. You're the man. Okay.
So I was so anxious all day, so nervous, really didn't talk to anybody at school. And like I remember just getting on that bus and it was just so silent. I was just thinking the whole time, like, dang, I'm actually about to play a varsity game. So like it was like my Super Bowl preparing against A&M Consolidated, and then go out there like slinging the ball, just playing like I've never played before. Like I've never like thrown the ball like that. I was just
Like in a good way?
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like well, I mean, I never really threw the ball the years before that.
Sure.
So like just going out there, I was impressing myself, making throws I've never thrown, and just like, dang, I'm actually doing pretty good. Like I'm like it was a shocker to me. And then at halftime, like coming in here and like I had like 200 yards already. I was like, whoa, like
At halftime?
yeah.
That's big boy stuff, dude.
Yeah.
That's this is a big boy episode. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to hear this real quick though, because how old are you?
I'm 18 right now.
He's 18. Manny Harris is 18 years old. I'm 33. It's just getting better and better. But you guys are from a different era than I'm. Like, we didn't even have like YouTube or internet. Was like dial up. You don't even know what dial up is, do you? Do you know what dial up? No. Okay. Oh, this is hilarious. If you guys go to YouTube and watch this episode, like, I'm just like cracking up the entire. This is just insane. So you guys have all this specialized training, now, you guys have the speed coaches, the strength coaches, you guys have quarterback coaches. If you want to go to a receiver coach, they've got, they got all sorts of different specialized coaches. We didn't have anything like that. We had maybe a VHS tape. Do you know what a VHS tape is? Okay. All right. Of course. Right. We have a VHS tape. Or my dad used to like rent books check out books from the public library on how to play quarterback. And can you imagine doing that now? Like that's ridiculous, isn't it?
My parents did that.
They did that. Okay, good. I don't feel so alone in that, because my dad played offensive line, so he would try to. I mean, obviously he tried as best as he can to help me out, but he's an offensive lineman, man. There's only so much he can do. So that's why we turned to VHS tapes and books. But now you guys just have all these different tools. So, like, what was your off-season regimen like? Were you doing stuff like that, or were you just throwing the ball on your own, or how were you like honing your skills, or were you not? I mean,
we had a really good receiver. He ended up getting first team All-State my junior year, and he would just he like moved in from Dallas, and like he just called me up pretty much every weekend, and he got all the receivers together, and we would just go out and throw. And
that's awesome. That's a big time leadership thing right there. Did he end up going anywhere?
He didn't have the grades, so he went to Trinity Valley, but he could have went anywhere he wanted to. Obviously, first team All-State. So.
You hear that? Get your grades right, kids.
Gotta have them right.
Get them right. That's the first thing when I talk to college coaches. Besides, what kind of kid is he? What are his grades? Because if he doesn't have the test scores or he doesn't have good grades, they don't want any part of you. They don't want to waste time with you, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he got you into this. Let's get this regular throwing thing going. Okay.
So that was like the first time in my life, like someone like told me like I'm coming here and throwing, like, and all my friends came, and just seeing all them like out there and us getting our rhythm down. So
building that chemistry.
Yeah. So that was a big deal, and so then just going into the season, like we all had just that great chemistry together, and we had a really good season my junior year.
Nice. Well, what's really good? I don't know. I mean, you could be a loser and a really good season's like 2 wins, so I don't know.
Well, we were the #1 offense in the state for like all classifications.
Say that again into the mic so people can hear.
We were the #1 offense in the state. We had
out of all classifications.
Yes, out of all classifications.
Oh, like I said, this is a big boy episode. What were your stats? I mean, what was the offense like? Like yardage wise, or? Yeah,
yardage wise and points per game, we had the most in the state.
Do you remember those? Come on, man, you gotta know those.
It was in the 40s though for the points.
Okay.
And we were #1 passing offense in the state, so I mean that was a big deal. Like,
what were you averaging a game passing wise?
Over 300 every game.
Really? That's nice.
My first 2 games were over 500 passing yards. So.
What? Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. That would have been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you have a different coach, or was this a guy that just trying to change the philosophy?
No, he's really good at like changing up his scheme to the players that he has. So, I mean, he just changed it up to us. He noticed that we could throw the rock, so we spun it like 50 times a game.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Because a lot of coaches, and I've talked about this with one of my guys before, is they're some of them are so set in their ways, you know, that no matter what I have, this is what we're doing and it's going to work. And, you know, I go to coaches clinics all the time and go listen to, because I feel like you can always learn, you know, and that's how all these new offenses pop up, all these new hybrids of all these different things. And, you know, I feel like if you're not entertaining some of that stuff and learning some of that stuff, then you're kind of, you know, you're sitting still, you're dying. So that's cool that he'd be able to, you know, obviously he knows I got a spinner in Manny Harris. Let's throw the dang ball. Yeah.
So I mean, he told me, like, coming into my junior year, like the spring ball of my sophomore year, he told me, like, I have a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks that's ever came out of Cove. And, like, when he told me that,
how'd you feel?
I was like, dang, like, Robert came out of Cove. We had some other ones like Brett Gardner and just some other good ones. And even there was his son, like, he was a quarterback at Cove too. So, like, telling me that, I was like, dang, I didn't know how to take it. So
yeah, that's like humbling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also that's him also telling you, let's go to work. You know, I kind of expect this from you, so demand it from yourself. Let's go to work. Let's win some games. That's really cool. I had we had a coaching change my sophomore year. So my junior year, we were in a new season with a new coach. I've talked about him before on this podcast, Richard Whitaker. He was one of my favorite coaches of all time. And I'll never forget, do you know what a CAT machine is? You work out with it. You've got to, you put it's kind of a platform type thing where you have these pads on your shoulders and you sit down in a squat position, you jump up and land. Anyway, so we're going to this circuit and I'm jumping up and down on this thing, and he comes right up in my ear and says, the only way this team's gonna have any success is if you lead us to the promised land. He's like, I expect you to lead us. That's all I needed to hear.
It's humbling,
bro. I just started jumping, pa pa pa, and I was tired, but it was pretty cool, man. Okay, so what were your season stats for your junior year?
I had over 4,000 yards counting the playoff game, and I had 38 touchdowns, over 500 rushing yards, and 7 touchdowns running. 500
rushing yards.
So, yeah, I led the team in rushing yards, too.
Okay, very nice. DT. What's the DT stand for?
Dual threat.
Dual threat. That's what I'm talking about.
I can move a little bit. I'm not known for my speed, but I can move a little bit.
Dude, 500 yards is nice. Okay, so you put up a season like that, especially after your junior year. What happens?
Just the recruiting process.
It blows up.
It does.
Okay, so what, everyone's been on, we've talked about when you get your first letter and all that kind of stuff, or how it's happened to you and how exciting it is and all that kind of stuff. What was it like for you?
I mean, it was just crazy. Like that whole season, like just seeing all the news people at practice and just watching them record us, and like all the people wanting to interview me, like that. It was humbling, like seeing all that. And it was just like, dang, I was just watching all these guys on varsity growing up, like watching them get all these interviews and seeing them all over the newspaper. So that was a big deal, like seeing myself in the newspaper. And it was humbling. And then once, like, getting all these awards. And,
what awards? Talk to me.
Getting district MVP and getting first team all district and like all state honorable mention and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was a big deal to me. And I mean,
it should be a big deal. That's awesome.
But then at the same time, once you get all those awards, like your friends and people in your school, like they hype you up. You just gotta like stay level minded, and like that's what type of person I am. I really try to stay humble all the time, and I don't brag about myself, and I don't try to be outspoken and all that. But it was just crazy, like getting all those awards, and then like how the recruiting coming in a row. Like it was just like I dreamed of this as a little kid.
Sure.
Like no matter what sport it was, I dreamed of this being a little kid.
Yeah.
So
that's what I like about you, and I could tell the moment I met you, I was like, you're not too high, you're not too low, even keel. The best guys I've worked with, or the best guys I've seen playing quarterback, even guys like Joe Montana, stuff like that, have been the guys that they stay right in that cool zone. You know, not too hot, not too cold. You know, they'll get hot when they need to, if they need to, but they never dip down into getting too down, you know, because it's just that it really is that one play at a time mentality that you got to take, and that's awesome. You got the right mentality to play quarterback and have success. Okay, so were you familiar with camps like Elite 11 and all that kind of stuff at that point, or?
I've watched the Elite 11 on TV, and I saw like all the Under Armour games, so of course that was a goal for me, and I really thought like I've had all these big numbers Like I really thought I would be one of those type, but like it's more than just having the big numbers as a quarterback. It's the footwork. It's all that stuff, and I really didn't know that. I wasn't big on my footwork really my junior year, and like that's probably why like recruiting didn't go like. That's probably why I wasn't a real big time recruiter or anything like that, because I didn't have the footwork like I've seen like Kyler Murray and Jarrett Stidham and all those guys. They have good footwork, and once I got to the camps and saw them, I was like, dang, these guys could spin it. Like they're really good quarterbacks. And like I went to Elite11 Nike football training camp, like all the rival stuff, and
Sure.
went to like.
What were those experiences like? I mean, I've been to them as a coach. We didn't have them when I was playing. I mean, it's exciting for me as a coach to see my guys out there, but. What I've noticed is footwork and stuff like that, and the drills that you guys do, it's all like learning a dance. And if you prepare for that stuff, and like those guys who have that good footwork, they're working on their dance moves day in and day out. So that's why they look so good at those camps. That's when they go to college camps, they look so good. And that's why when they're in the games, they look smooth, and it just happens because they do that dance work, that footwork all the time. So it's just like learning different dance moves.
And that was my thing. We didn't really preach footwork in my high school, so like
most high schools don't.
I was new to it, and just like seeing all these different footwork stuff, it was all new to me. I never went through all these drills, and it was just very new. And just seeing all these guys, like, dang, they're so smooth with it. I was like, just in awe.
It's beautiful, dude. I mean, when I see a guy with good feet, I'm just like, wow, it is. It's like you're in awe. It really is a beautiful thing.
And I'll never forget, like, the first thing I went to, it was called the Next Level Athlete, and I remember LG. Like,
Well, it was in Dallas? Where was that at?
It was in Dallas.
Yeah, I remember him going to that.
And I saw his feet. That was the first time like I saw a quarterback with really good feet, and I was like, dang, he has some really good feet. And that's what like separates good quarterbacks from great quarterbacks these days. So
when I first started working with him, he said when he and his dad, when we met and we talked about what he needed to do to impress at those camps, and I said like we were talking about these drills that they do, we've got to know that stuff inside and out. So when you go and show out, it's like you've been doing this all the time. It's like nothing new. There's no monkey wrenches thrown at you. You're gonna and it really did pay off for him. Where he wasn't as maybe highly recruited as other guys, but like you said, you saw him and like, oh man, his feet look really good. Obviously, he's been practicing. He's been putting that work in on that. All right. So what other camps did you go to?
So I went to Nike football training camp, the Elite 11.
These are all invite-only camps, guys. You don't pay for these camps. These are the best of the best. If you get an invitation from somebody that says, hey, guess what? You're being invited to this blah, 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 all-American camp, and now you have to pay $1,000 and blah, blah. That's not an invite. Yeah. You're not getting invited anywhere. I mean, that's craziness. It's an invite where the best of the best come out there, and it's free.
So, like, getting those invites, I was like, dang, like I'm getting invited to these things, and like just seeing that these are prestigious events to go to, like that was a big deal. And so I went to Nike football training camp, Elite 11, the Rivals Showcase.
How was that?
Oh, it was pretty cool. That was one of my first ones I went to. So
Rivals, they changed it. Well, I don't know because I didn't see it the year before, but we had guys go this year, and they changed it to where it's an all net throwing event. Was it like that?
No, we did routes on air.
Routes on air. So it was definitely, I'd never seen anything like that before, where that's another thing that if you can practice for that, get your nets and do your net throws over and over and over. But it's like the guy who ended up winning it when we were in Dallas was a guy that was very, very under the radar. But you can tell he'd been practicing net throws and looked good. And then he got to go do his routes on air and stuff at, I think at Maryland or where the finals were for Under Armour and stuff.
But that was my thing. Like I didn't know anything about footwork. I wasn't prepared for it. So, and just seeing these guys, like some of these guys were like prepared great for it. And
did you know who like these guys were?
Yeah, there was a quarterback in my district named Ben Hicks.
Ben Hicks, yeah, he's at SMU. Yeah, he's committed to Houston, but then went to SMU. Right. Okay.
So he had really good feet, and like just noticed like, dang, I need to get on the ball. That's when I really started to pick it up, and I tried to do as many things as I could. And my like quarterback coach, like I started telling him like I've been to all these camps and they're doing all these different footwork drills, and so we tried to start doing some in practice and all that. So, and I mean I really didn't do any on the outside of football. I just did them in practice still. Yeah. In high school, but that's what separated me from. I mean that's what separated all the other quarterbacks from me probably. Yeah. In high school.
Yeah. Okay, so you finish up through all these camps that are going on, and most of these guys, you'll get these camp invites when you finished up your junior year, so it's the spring of your junior year. Real quick, I've been getting all these text messages and emails and all these different DMs and stuff from people saying, "This is a quarterback-centric show. Why have you not had a quarterback on yet?" Well, here he is. I got the QB on right here, and we're talking quarterback, and I love it. We're having fun. So you finish up with those camps. And what's your mindset after that? Do you have some clear-cut schools that are coming to the table for you, or are you still kind of playing it, or what's the deal?
Well, my mindset was like I thought I was gonna be a big recruit guy. I love Texas, and I started liking Baylor once Robert went there. So
did you want to stay in Texas maybe?
Yeah,
okay,
I wanted to stay in Texas, and so those were the two schools I was like, dang, I really want to go there. And as recruiting went, like I noticed like, okay, maybe that it's probably not really going to happen because
only happens for one or two guys.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's another thing. Like if guys tell me if guys come up to me and say, "Coach, I'm going to play at Texas," like, cool, all right, but just remember that only one dude a year gets to go play at Texas. Sometimes no dudes. So even if that doesn't work out, the right place is going to, if you really want to play college football, the right place is going to show itself.
Yeah.
And that right place for you was UTSA.
Yeah.
So what was that process like?
So they were my first offer, and
beautiful. I love that.
Whenever I found out like they were about to offer me, like of course I wanted my first offer. I was waiting for it, and whenever they told me they're about to offer me, like I was like, dang, like I'm about to get my first Division I offer. And then going up to the junior day, I didn't know what to expect. Like everyone's like knew my name as I walked in the door, so I mean, it was a big deal, and it just felt like a family. And walking, meeting Coach Brown, I mean that was a real big deal. And just like after that day, I was like, dang, this is a good spot. I really could see this being my home. Of course I didn't commit on that day, but
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick because 2 episodes ago I had Bernard Thomas in, and he's played defensive end at Nebraska, and he was talking about the first offer he got was from Michigan, and he was in, I don't know if you know Lloyd Carr. You probably don't know Lloyd Carr, of course. He was a famous coach at Michigan. He was there at the time that Bernard and I were in college, and he says Bernard went to one of their camps, and he was balling out. It was like an all-pads camp, and they said, "Hey, Coach Carr wants to speak to you." So he brings Bernard to Coach Carr's office, and Coach Carr pretty much tells him, "Hey, I've seen what you're doing. Obviously, you're ripping it up in high school. You look good out here, and we just want to let you know that at the University of Michigan, we're serious, and we want to offer you your first offer." Wow, hearing something like that, that's like I didn't hear stuff like that, when I was going through my recruiting process. But what were your feelings like when, like, I guess Coach Brown was the one who said, "Hey, we want to offer you," or how does that thing go?
Well, just like seeing that, and then like Coach Coker is a big deal. He won the national championship
in Miami. Yeah,
he almost won too. So like just knowing that, like looking up all the coaches and like, dang, like they want me to play football for them, and it was a big deal for me. And I'm really happy that I made that decision to go there.
Nice. So when did you commit?
I committed at the Elite11 showcase in the regionals in Dallas.
I remember that because I think somebody did say that you just committed. You committed there?
Like I was walking out, and then I was like, okay, it's about time. I want to make this decision before the season comes. And I was just really feeling it that day. And Coach Brown was talking to me about like committing, and that they haven't offered many quarterbacks, and if like they don't get me, then they're going to start offering other quarterbacks. So
sure.
That kind of put some pressure on it. Like I really like this spot. I really want to go and play football there. So I just prayed about it with my family, and then at that Elite 11, I was just thinking about it the whole time. And right when I walked out the door, I told my parents, I really think that I want to go to UTSA and play football there, and they were all for it. And
they were pumped up, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I mean, like when I think something that's so cool about what I get to do is that when parents get to see and now that I'm a parent, when you get to see your kids have success on things that they really care about, and see all the hard work that they put in, like it's an emotional feeling for a parent, I remember my mom was like just bawling. You know, she was just so excited for me and just proud and all that. And there really is this huge sense of pride that they have. And like you could have gone anywhere. I mean, you really could have gone anywhere, played football anywhere, and they were going to be like super excited. But the fact that you would kind of realize you had done all this work, put the work in, and you just kind of realized this dream. And then you're not going to be playing too far from home either, so that they'll be able to come check you out and stuff.
So yeah, that was a big deal. I wanted to stay in Texas, and once I committed, like all my recruiting pretty much stopped. So.
Sure. Well, and what's the deal with because I've got Xavier Martin, who's at Steele right now, who committed early to Texas Tech, and he's just like beginning his junior year. What's the guys didn't do that when I was in high school, but I've noticed like over the last probably about 3 or 4 years, it's been like a common thing for underclassmen to really commit early. What's that all about?
Probably because some schools, they back out on you, so like you don't want to lose your scholarship, and also it like you get to focus on your senior year. That was the big thing for me. I just wanted to focus on my senior year and not like worry about like, okay, I want to go here, I want to go, like,
because it's stressful.
Yeah,
it is a stressful.
It was real stressful.
And what I tell parents too is that you guys at the end of the day, y'all are kids, man. And I'd say remember when you were 16 or 17. And first of all, you didn't always make the right decisions. You didn't always say the right things. And, when I see my guys, I see them for football, but I know that they got girl problems going on. They got grade problems going on. You guys got lives, and you're teenagers. And that added pressure can be tough. So, yeah, I could see how committing and just saying I'm part of this UTSA family, and now let's go ball out for my senior year and make things happen.
Yeah, that was the big thing for me. So
cool. So how's your summer preparing for your senior year?
So my summer, that was the year I really started trying to work on some footwork things. And I mean, we wanted to win a state championship. Cove's never won a state championship, and we wanted to do that. And I really like some of the receivers. They got irritated. Like I called them so many days in the summer, and like if they didn't answer, I would call their mom, because all of our friends we all hang out together. And she'd bring them out there, and
I love that, dude.
And we go from there.
When I hear guys tell me, "Well, coach, my receivers didn't come out," or "Well, coach, blah blah blah," make them come out.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Do you want to win? Go make them come out. Go drive to their house. I love it. You're calling their mom saying, "Get them out here, dude. You want to win." I love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. We knew we had a tough schedule. We had Lake Travis. We had A&M Consolidated, and they beat us on the last second my junior year. So we wanted to come back and get that win. And we had Schertz Clemens, we had Round Rock, and those are all some ranked teams. So we wanted to come out and prove like we're going to be a really good team in the state. But I mean, once my senior year came, we opened up the year. We were number one in the nation for yards, and number one in the nation.
In the nation?
Mm-hmm. And number one in the nation for as many plays. We ran the most plays in the nation.
So it's just a quick tempo, Oregon type. Just go.
We're actually faster than Oregon. Like,
come on.
I'm so serious.
Okay. I'm gonna have to watch some Manny Harris. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some Manny Harris highlights. Actually, while we're talking here, we're gonna pull up some Manny Harris highlights. Okay, so senior year, you guys are leading the nation. Like, how long did that go?
It just lasted the first game, and then second game of the season came. Second play of the game, went down, knee injury, tore my MCL.
That's not you right there.
No.
This is Manny Harris from the Lakers. Never heard of him.
Type in
Copperas Cove. That's junior first 4 games?
Yeah, type in Manny Harris, Copperas Cove highlights probably.
Probably, Come on, dude. This dude's like, hey, I know I'm spelling Copperas wrong, but
yeah.
That's senior year, right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna watch a little bit of this real quick, see what Manny's all about. Okay, I got the volume down. Good deal. Number 10. I was 10 in middle school. Oh, okay. Okay.
A little bit of something.
Manny's kind of shifty. All right, real quick, I'm going to pause. Who made this highlight tape for you?
I made it for myself.
Okay, so Manny just had this nice little shifty run. What do you think? Is it like a 25-yard run?
Around that. So.
Okay. Guys, if you want to put out a bomb highlight tape and especially if you're sending this out to schools or if you want people to pay attention. If I don't know Manny Harris and I click on his highlight tape for the first time and I see him give me like a little shifty 25-yard run that doesn't end in a touchdown on the first play, I'm like, what? Dude, show me like a bomb. Show me like a huge pass. I want like your first 5 minutes. I just want to see touchdowns. All right, I had to vent there. Let's go. Okay, that's a corner that picked up like 15.
I don't know why I did it.
Oh, that was a nice wide base. Yeah, good. Oh, man, he's taking off right there.
And then I got caught.
Okay. Where are the touchdowns at, dude?
I don't know why I didn't put them at the beginning. I thought they wanted to see like plays like that, like seeing me run. And
what, touchdowns aren't cool? Like scoring points and winning games isn't cool?
I mean, it was all right.
Okay, see, I needed a wide angle right there. That looked more tight. Okay, no, this is tight right here.
I thought they wanted to see like plays like that.
That's a good play. You could have started off with that one. I would have been happy. Manny just threw like a fade. It was like a 45-yard bomb on the money. Okay, here we go. Play number 1 right there. Let's see how long that took to get in. A minute, we'll say 10. A minute 10 was the first time I saw Manny Harris throw a nice fade to the back of the end zone for a touchdown. That took a little bit too long. We're going to watch this a little bit more and get this thing going. Okay, so senior year you go down. It's your what game?
My second game.
Oh, so this is all highlights from just your first 2 games?
No, I came back and played towards the end of the year, but our offense changed completely.
How so?
Didn't do any quarterback run game. We didn't really have as much of a spread anymore. We couldn't really do it because, I mean, they knew I wasn't going to run the ball. I couldn't really move towards the end of the year. I had the knee brace on. And
Okay, so what did you do? You said you tore your MCL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the – all right, I'm going to pause this real quick. Ooh, that was a big hit. I played with so many guys who had big injuries like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now an MCL is probably a better thing to tear than other things. There's way worse stuff to tear. And I've seen guys handle it like champs, like you, who turned it around, and now you're balling at UTSA. I've seen guys not handle it well, and it just didn't work out for them. What's your mindset when you go through an injury like that?
Ooh, my mindset was like my senior year. We're supposed to win state. Everyone has that mindset. Everyone has that mindset coming to the year, and that really like was like dang. And they were telling me I tore my they pretty much told me like you tore everything in your knee. So I was like, oh man, I'm about to miss the whole season. And I mean, I just had to pray and just keep believing in God. And I told myself like if I come back, like I'm gonna work the hardest I've ever worked. I'm gonna try to come back for this team and try to like give us a run in the playoffs and all that. So
and then what does the doctor say about like a rehabbing process or something like that? I mean, is it just, hey, you got to stay off? You didn't have to have surgery, right?
No, they at first like it was probably about a week after. I mean, I was still going through all the X-ray process, the MRIs, and they were telling me it looks like possibly ACL tear, and ACL like, right away you need surgery for ACL tear.
6 to 8 months, and probably 8 months recovery and more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, they were telling me that. What are you gonna do? Like you have that like thought in your head, like you tore your ACL, so you just had to keep praying and keep believing. And they were saying if you tear your MCL, like you could possibly come back this season. So I was just praying for that, and then the results of the MRI came out, and they said I had a level 2 MCL tear in my knee, and if you have a level 3 MCL tear, you need surgery. So I probably would have missed the rest of the season.
Nice.
With my MCL tear, but since it was a level 2, I didn't have to miss the season. And then that's usually a 6 to 8 week. You're supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks, but I wanted to come back for start district off, and it was homecoming, and that was 3 weeks after. So I came back.
What? Dude,
I shouldn't have came back.
Were you in a brace at any point, or?
Yeah, I was in. Like I just started walking pretty much the week of our first district game and homecoming. Like I kind of.
You're crazy, dude. I mean, I've been there. I'm not with that injury, but I've been injured, and I know I shouldn't have played at times.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna play. I mean, let's face it. If you're a competitor and especially if you play quarterback, you're gonna play. They're gonna have to drag you off the field.
Yeah.
But so what kind of dip? You just you didn't feel as mobile, or the brace was clunky, getting used to that, or what was the deal?
Well, I just started, like I said, I just started walking that week, and the doctor told me, I mean, if you wear the brace, well, you're gonna wear the brace, but if you wear it, like, they have a better possibility of tearing the other knee than like actually tearing the rest of your full knee. So I mean, that gave me that brace. It was my best friend. Like,
Sure.
It gave me all the confidence, and then my coach told me, like, we're not gonna do any more of that spread. You're not gonna be an empty anymore. You're just gonna stay back there. We're gonna max protect you all game, and like they were just asking me, like, when do you think you'll be ready? How's it going? They just kept like asking me that kind of stuff, and I was telling them I don't think I'm gonna be ready for this game, but I mean, of course, I was nervous for it. I was wanting to come back because I just really felt like I could give my team that like
senior
extra
year,
advantage.
dude. Yeah.
So then I had a doctor appointment on the Thursday, the day before the game, to see if I could get cleared possibly, because I just like we had to make a video of me running that day on Thursday, like that morning, and like seeing me move around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was starting to move around, and we went to the hospital, and he was like telling me like he doesn't think I'll be able to get back. And then we showed him the video of me kind of moving around a little bit. And he was like, "You're ahead of schedule. You look really good." And he cleared me, and I went back that evening, and my team was practicing, and I told my coaches that I got cleared, and
They were like, "Oh, thank God."
And I kind of like started practicing, and then they were asking me, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "I don't know, coach. I don't know if I'm ready." They like put in all kind of new plays because they changed up the offense totally. We went through 2 different quarterbacks, and then the next day at school, they called me in their office and was asking me if I'm ready to play, and they told me they weren't going to play me unless they need me. And I had to learn like the new plays that day. It was a lot of run plays and all that. And then like right before the game, like, of course they told me again, we're not gonna play you unless we need you. And warming up, they kept like I didn't tell nobody at school I was playing, so everybody like it was a big deal. Everybody kept asking me because they like saw me walking around, and none of my team really like spread the word, and like it was just a big deal. And everyone in Cove was wondering, like everyone kept asking me if I'm going to play because it's homecoming and all that. And I just kept telling everybody no, I'm not going to play. But of course in my mind I knew I was going to play. And then like pregame warm-ups, I was out there warming up, and I just remember all the other team's coach was just like staring at me because I was like kind of running around.
And they were like saying, please
Yeah.
don't play. Please don't play.
And I had to show them I was kind of fine, so I went out a receiver and like had to catch something, like running around, catch some. So I mean, I kind of wanted to prove a message to them, like
Sure.
I'm capable of playing. And then like pregame warm-ups, I mean, when we came out the tunnel, like my team, they like made a little like tunnel way for me, and like I ran in between them, like shook their both, like smacked all their hands, like running out. So that was a big moment, like that showed like my teammates like love me, like
Of course.
I'm their brother. So
Yeah.
that was a big deal for me, and just like coming out with that flag again, and just seeing like all the fans like going crazy. So that was a big deal, and that was like it touched me.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's funny. Like I think I probably got more emotional with like football things than or sporting things, or even when I see things now in football or sports related stories, I get more emotional. Dude, my senior year, because my senior year in college, we were up against it early. We lost our first conference game. We had Hurricane Katrina come through. We had all sorts of just circumstances where we could have mailed it in. But after we lost that first game, we said if we lose another game, there's no way we can win conference. There's no way we can go to the playoffs. It's just anyway. So we're up against it. So every game that we won, like it would just get kind of more emotional, and we'd grow more and more closer together. And there were some tight games too. There were games like where we played Texas State, beat them in OT. Dude, I remember just falling to my knees and just crying, like, oh, we're still rolling. You know, we're gonna realize this dream. I know we are. We're gonna get this thing going. But dude, that's why I love sports. It'll it's because you get things like that. You get stories like with some. You can't make up anything like that. You know, it's amazing. Okay, so you finished your senior year. How'd you guys end up doing?
We ended up going 6-4 and we lost first round of the playoffs. Heartbreaker.
Sure. Well, and you talk to UTSA coaches, they're saying, hey, we're excited, season's over, but hey, you're going to be a Roadrunner, so get ready.
So, I mean, like, of course, like, after the season, like, you're down, like, that first week after, but then you're like, man, I get to go play college ball, so that was, like, I mean, take for take. It was a good thing.
Yeah, I remember my last game in high school, we lost. It was against a rival. I knew it was my last game, but looking around, because my senior year, I think I was one of two guys that were going to go play college. And everyone else on that team kind of had a look in their eyes like that was it, and I felt bad, but there was a part of me that said, I still get to play this game. So that didn't have as much of an effect. I mean, it's still sad, obviously, because it's the end of a run with your boys, but yeah, I kind of had similar feelings. Okay, so you finish up with the season, you're feeling good, knees feeling good, and then did you enroll early? No, you enrolled in the summer, right? You enrolled in the summer, so you're we did some work in the spring. You came in the summer, went to summer school. What's it like being a freshman football player? You and I talked about this a little earlier, but just for everybody real quick, what's it like being the alpha dog? Hey, is Manny going to play in that homecoming game? Hey, man, is Manny going to be, hey, oh, Manny, you're the man. Hey, Manny, this, that, that. What's it like being that alpha dog and then being a freshman in that Roadrunner locker room?
Going from being the big man on campus to, like, just another fish in the sea. I mean, that was, like, dang, like, starting all over again. It's just, like, freshman year of high school. So it was a eye-opening experience. And, I mean, I've been through it before, so I know that I'm going to get through it again. And it was just, like, crazy seeing, like, everything, like, how everything's falling into place. And it's really cool. Like, I like sitting back and just seeing how these things are panning out. So
yeah, I like UTSA. I think it's a good spot. I think it's a program on the rise. That's going to be a hot spot. You guys are going to get a lot of recruits. You're going to steal a lot of recruits from, that tier athlete that could go to Texas, but maybe wants to stay closer to home. You guys are doing some cool things, man. And they got a guy like you that's going to be leading the way here pretty soon. If you guys go out and they don't have a UTSA #1 jersey, do they have a UTSA #1 jersey? They got to, right?
I don't know if they do.
If they don't, whoever runs the bookstore, go order a bunch of #1 UTSA football jerseys right now. I want to see a whole bunch of #1s in the crowd. So, well, that's awesome, dude. It feels good to be able to spin it with a QB in here. It's taken me a little too long, but it's during the season. Manny's on a bye week. He was good enough to come by this week when we have some time. I never want to disrupt schedules on my quarterbacks during the season. We'll have more guys on, but dude, it was an absolute pleasure having you in as the first QB on the Spinning It podcast.
I take pride in that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. And I look forward to working with you more and with seeing you grow in your journey at UTSA and taking the Roadrunners to big places.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You got it. See y'all later. Okay, Spinners, that's it. I want to thank my guest Manny Harris for joining me today. Go check out #1 for the UTSA Roadrunners on Saturday in the Alamo Dome. On the docket for the next couple weeks, I've got a former lineman from the Air Force Academy, an offensive coordinator from a high school in the San Antonio area, as well as some of the top high school QBs in San Antonio, and in some cases, in the entire state of Texas. If you want to know more about my quarterback academy or you're interested in training with us, you can find me at www.yvqbacademy.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat. If you're interested in being one of our sponsors, you can contact me through my website. See y'all next week.